No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you're broke, your love life's DOA. It's like you're always gonna forget the words to this song because this is a lot of pressure to do and not get copyrighted. So I'll be there for you. All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, back to talk about the Friends reunion special. Something that I don't think ever in a million years I would say that I'd be talking about. And so, just first off, if you like what we're doing here on the channel, sorry, I'm a little unkempt, and I just donated plasma, so if I look a little worse for wear, that's why. But if you like what I'm doing here on the channel, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. We are at the cusp of 2,000 subscribers. We're just over 100 subscribers to go. So anybody who wants to help the channel get to 2,000 subscribers, that would be great, so we can keep our motivation going into this channel and trying new things like this. So here's the thing, and this is my background with Friends. I think everybody that has watched Friends and kept with it or whatever has their story to tell, and this is mine. This is my version of, like, this is my Friends story. So when this came out, I was just getting out of high school, and my whole life was nuts. I had just left the cult. If anybody who knows me on the channel knows what I'm talking about, and we still are making that video, by the way. I was on my own for the first time in my life. I was running from a very difficult situation, and so I didn't really have a lot of time for TV and stuff like that, or, you know, I would still go to the movies, but TV wasn't that big or important to me. I was just trying to survive. And the idea of Friends, like, I also had kind of a chip on my shoulder. I was bullied and picked on for being in the religion that I'm in, for being short, for being a nerd, for just, you know, my life was not fun. And I see this show about a bunch of really pretty people having really pretty problems and living in New York City and being close, and that was like the surface stuff. But the other stuff, the real stuff, was it was about these people who are really close friends. And I couldn't relate to that because I didn't have any. My friends that I had, the friends that I had were all tied together with the church. And once I left that, I had no one. And so it just wasn't something that appealed to me. And I really didn't watch it. I did not really watch it. I knew about it. I could see how big it was getting. And of course, since I was like 19, 20 years old, Jennifer Aniston being naked on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine, that was hanging in my very first apartment. But I really never watched the show. I was just like in love with Jennifer Aniston. Still kind of am. Why not? She's 50 some years old, right? She just, and yeah, she can still come get it. So I just never got into it. And everybody around me, it was, you know, it was the zeitgeist. It was so prevalent in pop culture. You know, Seinfeld was going on. I was into the X-Files because nerd. I was still reading. Oh, I was still into what I'm into now. Then years later, right, you know, it was in syndication. I'd catch an episode here or there. And it wasn't until, like, the show was ending, I started paying a little bit more attention. I was like, oh my God, Gary Oldman's on Friends, you know. And I was in a college area. I was living basically on campus where I live. And so college kids were really into watching Friends. I shouldn't say it like I was an old man, but I was in my late 20s, and I started to get into it a little bit. I started following it a little bit more, and I kind of I was one of those bandwagon jumpers where near the end of the show, I kind of got into it, but I didn't really go back and finish it until really in the last 10 years, where I finally, I sat down and I started watching all of them. And that's when, I was in a different place in my life then too. And I just, I still wasn't paying attention. I thought it was all right. It was something odd because I was, 10 years ago, I was struggling with a pretty bad alcohol problem. But I really did think it was funny. I really appreciated the writing, and I loved Chandler Bing. So I had Jennifer Aniston and I had Chandler Bing. And then, about like 3 years ago, I had just been like a year sober and I started rewatching Friends. And I just fell in love for the first time. This thing had been off the air for already like more than 10 years. And I just saw all the things that, I was missing. And even though like my very favorite sitcom of all time is Cheers, and it's basically because of the time period that it was in, where I was a kid, and we were all watching it, and I just grew up with it. Friends was something else, and I think it's probably when I have to be really, really honest. Like Cheers and Friends are really close to me now, as far as the writing, because that's the thing. I didn't really care too much about the Rachel Ross relationship and all that stuff, all the romances and will they won't they's and things like that. I fell in love with the writing and the chemistry of the characters and like the bonding and the bantering, and it really made me, miss having friends. And it became like I was watching it, and like a lot of people have said before me, that these people kind of become your friends. You know that they're not, but it's to know that these people are out there, and even if the show's over, you can still watch it and feel that comfort of all those people, that you feel that love that they had for each other in the show, which of course we know that they really like each other in person, which is nice because, a lot of other shows, I'm sure they didn't love each other all the time, but they loved each other inside their hearts, even if they were mad at each other and they didn't talk, or, after the show too, people went through their struggles. Matthew Perry himself has had his own problems with addiction, which is another reason why it became relatable for me, was my favorite character was going through the same kind of thing I was. Well, the actor who played the character was. And then they talked about this reunion coming out. And when I realized what it was going to be, just a bunch of them talking about the show and, just taking a walk down memory lane, the cynic inside me got kind of irritated because I just wanted I wanted a great big, like 3 episode, turned into a little mini movie of Friends. I wanted to see where my friends were. I wanted to see where Chandler was and where Ross was and where Joey was. Who actually, Joey is now my second favorite character on the show. I used to think Matt LeBlanc was the jock and everything, and he's the guy, he's the hunk of the group, and I actually love Joey now. And I thought, like, 20-year-old me would be telling myself, you're a fucking liar that you like Joey. But I love Joey. I pretty much, there's a different space in my heart for all of these characters. The two that rise to the top are Chandler and then Joey. Um, but the thing, I watched this and I was mad. I've tweeted about it. I was like, I'm going to call this one the one that was pointless, but everyone got hella paid. And now, after watching it, I can call this review the one where I was wrong and I almost cried. Because, and even though I do feel that this reunion was, it was masterfully done. but I do feel a little manipulation. I do feel a little manufactured stuff in here, but I think that that has to happen for something like this. But most of it, 99% of this felt really, really genuine. And another thing that it made me realize was I've always had a hard time making friends. My life has been super difficult, and sometimes that has been my fault, and sometimes I've just met some of the wrong people. I've met a lot of really bad people in my life. People who were very willing to take advantage of me in various states of vulnerability. And so I've grown up being like Mulder, man, like trust no one. And it's been in the last 2, 3 years where I finally have allowed myself to open up. Like basically, a lot of this comes from making content on YouTube, where I take all my anxieties and my fears and my depression, and each time I make a video, I that's a little chip away at those things. And I was been trying to build a community, and I somehow along the way started making connections with people that I was hesitant about at first. And now the people that I've met in the last few years have become what I consider, at least, to be really great friends. People that I hope to someday be able to sit on a couch and have a conversation with, like the cast here does. And it watching this really made me appreciate the friends that I have, and how nothing lasts forever. And that, like they talk about, the premise of this show in the first place is that this is about the time in your life when your friends are your family. Well, I never had that moment until now. So I'm in that space where friends is more relevant than ever, because I'm in that place where my friends are my family. I have family. I do. I love them. I love some of them quite a bit. Some of them. But the connection lately that I've been feeling more is from my community and my friends here. And so watching this just really hit me where I live. And not just that, but like this was all a lot of fun. It wasn't just them talking about things that we might not know. You know, like some of this stuff was stuff that a hardcore Friends watcher is gonna know. There's been a ton of books written and magazines. We hear about these people still practically every day. They can't get away from it. We can't get away from it. The money that gets thrown around to purchase Friends and to hold on to Friends as on a streaming service, right, is insane. I recommend buying the DVDs or the Blu-rays, you know, because you never know when your internet's going to go out. It's always good to have the hard copies. just for your favorite things. And I think Friends is something that I need to pick up on Blu-ray just for those times, because when I just recently had a big issue with internet, I would have loved to have been able to just throw in Friends, all of it, and just sit there and watch it all for like a couple of months, because that's what the feeling I got was from watching this. Whether it was Phoebe playing Smelly Cat and Lady Gaga coming in, you know, even that, which I wanted to be cynical about, I really did. I was like, that was really, really nice. To all the things that you feel like they were sharing for the first time. And also Schwimmer. You know, Schwimmer, I think out of all the Friends, I think Schwimmer gets a bad rap about like his character and everything. But when you talk about the actor who plays him, he seems like such a really smart guy. And I don't know. He's somebody I wouldn't mind having a conversation with about filmmaking. But in the end, that's why I'm making this. Like, how do you review a review, right? I mean, I was about to do a Chandler and say, could they have found a better host? Yes, I think they could have found a better host, though. I'm not a big James Corden fan. Sorry, just not. But he's one of the big things right now. HBO Max is getting Conan. Why not get Conan? Whatever. I don't want this to like turn into like a negative thing. Oh, and then Justin Bieber showing up. I kind of left the room for that but it was only for like about 10, 15 seconds that I had to do that because I just will not, I can't stand Justin Bieber. Just can't. I don't care. I don't care. I stand by my words. When Matt LeBlanc put on all of Chandler's clothes, that was great. But it just, again, it gave you that feeling. And if you need that feeling back, you need a good emotional punch in the stomach, this is for you. And like I said, it's on my channel, we don't just review things. We talk about how they make us feel. And this made me feel all the feels. And to my subs that know who they are, you know who you are. And some of the people that I work with on YouTube, all the people I should say I work with on YouTube, that over the last couple of years, you guys are my family, just like my subs are my family, and all you commenters, the nice ones. You guys are my connection to this world, and besides some of my family. And so, yeah, Friends, family, Friends, the reunion. It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing that you can watch all the time on HBO Max. And, yeah, it really, really worked. And I'm really glad that I was wrong about it. Because they were right when they said in the show, in this reunion special, about doing another episode, and that it's like if you were to do more stories, you'd have to unravel the ending and to create new stories, and that just doesn't seem right. And that's actually really right. So anyway, it's like, and here's the thing: anytime I want to watch my Friends, I can always just come to HBO Max. I sound like I'm making a commercial. I do that a lot. Could I make any more commercials for HBO Max? So anyway, that's my thoughts on Friends the Reunion. If you liked this little discussion, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.